Welcome, welcome to Mind Body Fusion strengthening version today. So we're going to start on our mat standing. We may have some vigorous moves. Obviously, we have options for modification. So listen to your body at all times and do listen to body alignment cues. It's very important that whenever we go into practice or any other type of exercise that we work with the biomechanics of our body. And also there's a fine line between going past limiting beliefs in our mind and working a bit too far beyond our body. So really pay attention what is happening in your body and feel free to do modification. You know your body best. If you're feeling faint or dizzy, please stop immediately and check with yourself to see whether you need to have some medical attention. Very important that we're safe every single time we come to our mat or we do any type of exercise. So let's get started, shall we? Let's stand. Now I'm going to take off my socks because we will be doing some vigorous positions today. And let's come to the mat. So this is our sacred space. We're only focusing on the sacred space. And what is on the sacred space? Our bodies. So our body is most important in this sacred space. Breathe. And on your next inhalation, make sure that you are fully present with your body. Just set that intention. And if you wish, you can sway from side to side, putting more body weight on one foot and the other. Let's come at home in our body. Oftentimes when we go throughout our day, it's very easy to get absorbed in other things and we totally forget about ourselves. So this is our sacred space. Our body is our sacred temple. Coming present. Nice. And now let's come into center. Put your same body weight in both feet. And let's sway forward, lifting the heels slightly and then sway back. Stay in your body and notice what it feels like every time you sway from front to back. Perhaps how your body reacts, what engages, what loosens up. And also, what are you noticing? Like, are your shoulders feeling a little bit tight? Thighs a little tighter, hip flexors. What are you noticing as you're moving? All right, let's stay centered and sway from side to side once again and simply notice. Now I'm going to stay quiet. We're just going side to side and then we'll change it and I will simply mention front to back. Front to back, so come center, front to back. And center your body weight on your feet. Feet are hip width apart, and let's round those shoulders, just the shoulders, up, round, back, down, forward, up, and back down. Listening up, becoming more acquainted with our shoulders, noticing what's there. And let's go in the other direction, forward and down, back. Up, forward, back. And pause. Now let's do a body check alignment. So our knees are slightly bent. We have our hips over our ankles. Check in with your shoulders. Are they over your ankles? Check with your head. I have a feeling my head is a little forward, so I'm just going to glide it back. We want our ears over our shoulders, relaxing those shoulders, and simply stand in that position. Your knees are soft, meaning that there's a slight bend. Nice. Now, inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press those hips back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Knees are soft. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. And I forgot to mention, you can also just hang out here. Breathe, inhale. Exhale, and for those of you hanging out at your knees, just simply come on up and join us. Breathe, and let's come into chair pose, and let's twist to one side. Breathe, and we're going to hold here. Decide how deep you go. Now in this position, I've got my elbow outside of my knee. You can also have it further up or further up. Top elbow pointing to the ceiling. Breathe. Now press those hips back. Beautiful. Keep holding. It's a very strengthening pose. And exhale into the center. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come to the ground. Now, if you wish to modify, you can have a chair by your side. Hands on the chair. Forward fold. Now let's step back into downward dog. Breathe. So with downward dog and a chair, your hands are on the chair. You're stepping your feet back, still piping your hips up. Breathe. And let's come into a plank. High plank. Breathe, abs engaged. Remember, we need to line up. Abs engaged. Now let's swivel and come over to a side plank. Not for long. Swivel back to regular plank. You can also do this on your knees. And let's pike up to a downward dog once again. Breathe. Beautiful job. And walk or take a giant step to the front of the mat. Inhale, rise. Beautiful. Exhale, twist chair pose to the other side. Hold here. On the exhalation, come into the center. Inhale, rise. And exhale, swan dive. Hands come to the ground. Take a giant step back and another step back. Downward dog. Remember, you can do this with your chair. Now, hold here for a sec. I'm going to grab a chair and demonstrate the chair version. So for those of you using a chair, this is what it looks like. So this is your downward dog. Now, those on the mat, continue staying there. Once you're coming into a plank, you're going to step back here. You can also come down onto your elbows. Now, when you're doing your side plank, you're going to pivot here. Now, you can keep your other hand on the chair, or if you wish, you can also lift up and then pivot back on your feet. So, let's begin, shall we? We're in downward dog on the mat, downward dog on the chair, and now come into your plank. Breathe, abs engaged, and pivot onto your feet. Breathe, yes, reach. And on the exhalation, let's pivot back. Downward dog. Breathe, great job. Yes, take a giant step forward. For those of you in the chair, feel free to slowly lift up. Ah, nice job. Exhale, mountain pose. Beautiful. Now we're going to do that sequence one more time. Breathe, check in with your body. Nice. Inhale. Exhale, chair pose and twist. Hold. Press those hips back, knees behind the toes. Exhale into the center. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Again, remember you can go into the chair. Breathe, take a step back, downward dog. Nice. Let's come into plank. And from here, let's pivot. Lift the arm up if you wish. Breathe, not for long. Exhale, come into plank. Hold. And downward dog. Beautiful. Nice. Take a giant step forward or a few steps forward. And inhale, rise. Exhale, come into twisted chair pose on the other side. Breathe. Press those hips back. Exhale into the center. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Take a giant step back. Come into downward dog. Breathe. Now the sensation with downward dog is though you're pressing the mat forward in your hands. Those hips are piped. Breathe. Now come into plank. Breathe. Now pivot. Now if you wish, your hands can stay down or lift up. Breathe. You can do this in your chair. And back to plank. Beautiful. Pike it up. So downward dog. Very nice. Beautiful job. Now lift up both of your heels and lower both of your heels. Very nice. Come onto your knees. Let's pivot to the side. Extend one of your legs and reach. Nice. Holding here. And exhaling, bringing that hand down, pivoting back onto your knee. And exhale, round down. Inhale, tip up. Nice. Come to flat back and pivot once again. So we're pivoting out to the other side. Lift and reach. Breathe. And pivot once again. Come onto both knees. Exhale, round down. Inhale, tip up. One more time. Exhale, round down. Inhale, tip up. Beautiful. Now extend. Let's come onto our belly. Breathe. Hold here. Nice. Breathe. Tops of the toes are down. Lifting up. And exhale, lower down. This time neutral neck. Gaze at the ground, at your mat. Now, palms are at shoulder height. Tops of the toes are down or the feet are down. And lift the upper body and simply hover. Your hands are hovering at shoulder height. Breathe. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, lift, breathe. Neutral neck. Very nice. Exhale, lower. Beautiful. Now tuck your toes under. Press back into child's pose. Remember, if your knees are sensitive, go wider than your hips. Press your hips back. Now, if you can get your behind to touch your heels, fabulous. But anything in between, remember, we all have different range of motion with our body, so work with your range of motion. Maybe test to see if you can go a little further, but check in, breathe. Let's stay in this child's pose. Now, child's pose can also be on your elbows, if need be, or you can stretch the arms out, and you can also bring your forehead down. So this can be deep. Now, if you notice, my hips are not down to my heels, so I'm working with my range of motion. Breathe. We always want to monitor or honor our range of motion. And then as our body becomes more and more flexible and stronger, we may increase range of motion over time. This is a practice, which means that our body gets used to motion and strengthening, lengthening. And know too that our bodies can adapt, and over time we can gain more flexibility in our body. We want the combination of both, the strengthening, lengthening, flexibility. Now inhale, lift up. Slide your elbows closer to your knees, and if your knees are wide, line your knees up with your hips. Beautiful. Let's go into cat-cow. So exhale, round down. Inhale, tip up. Exhale, round down. Inhale, tip up. One more time. Exhale, round down. Inhale, tip up. And let's wag our tail like a dog. So let's wag to the right. Hips over to the right. Breathe. And into center and out to the other side. Loosening up the side body for those side planks. Back into the center, out to the other side. Breathe. And center and other side. One more time. Come to center. Out to the side. Center. Other side, and come into neutral position. Swivel your feet out. Very nice. Now from here, we will have one leg extended, opposite arm lifted. We're going to lift the leg and lower 10 times each side. This hand is here simply to prop our body up. So this knee is bent. Are you ready? Actually, I'm going to start on the other side so you can actually see this. So I'm going to have opposite hand. Are you ready? 10 times. Lift. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's get into position for the other side. Switch, lift, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Now, V-sit. So I scoot down just a little bit. Options. Hands are here, leaning back, and this may be your position. Or 1 foot up, or 2 feet up, hold, or we can extend. Breathe. Yes. Breathe and hold. Breathe, breathe, breathe. On the exhalation, bring 1 foot down. Exhalation, 2nd foot down. Very nice. All right, scoot down, lower down. Beautiful. All right, lift those legs up. And we're going to come down in thirds and holding for a set of 8 counts. I will count. So this is what it looks like. Hands at the base of your spine. Knees are slightly bent, and we're lowering for a third 8 counts, lowering for the third 8 counts, and hovering, bending the knees and extending. Now, modification for this are keeping the knees at a 90, and we're simply lowering, lowering, hovering. And even when we're hovering, we have our back close to the ground. So it takes a bit of the load away from the belly and also make sure that our back stays fully supported on the ground. So do the version that works best for you. Let's begin, shall we? And lower a third, and we count. And lower a third. And hover. Bring those knees into the chest and lift up and hover. Or sorry, so down a third. Lower third. Hover. Bring those knees in and extend and lower. And lower. And hover. Beautiful. One more time. 8. Lower. Hover. Last time. Breathe. Bring those knees into the chest. Ah, fantastic job. Flex your feet. Ah, gorgeous. And just pulse your knees into the chest. Breathe. On the exhalation, extend your right leg and bring your left knee closer to your chest. Feel the hip flexor release, which is the band of muscles going across that hip joint. Flex your right foot and left foot. Breathe. Press your calf and heel into the ground. Inhale, draw that knee in. Exhale, extend the left leg out, pressing the calf and heel into the ground. And inhale, bring that knee back in. And rock the knees in. Beautiful. Bring those feet down to the ground. Soles of the feet together. Allow the knees to splay out. We're not going to hold for too long. Breathe. Your elbows can be on the ground. If you find this to be too deep, feel free to bring your hands out to the outside of your thigh. Otherwise, you can place your hands on the inside of your thigh and just place a little bit more resistance there. Breathe. Bring those knees together. Extend the legs out. Slide those arms on the ground, up and overhead, keeping the arms in full contact with the body. Reach out through the arms, reach out through the legs. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And release. Relax. And reach out once again. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Legs and arms. Feel the lengthening happening. And release. One more time. Reach. Nice. Glide your arms down to the shoulders. Bend the knees. Go a little wider than hip width, so maybe mat width, and let's roll. So we're going to allow the knees to tip to one side and roll your head opposite side. So we have a beautiful rolling fashion. Explore the fullest range of motion and then come to neutral. Head and knees. Roll opposite your knees. Breathe. So as we roll our head out, fullest range of motion to one side, you get the neck, you get the shoulder bicep. With your knees going out to one side, you'll notice the hip flexor and the thigh releasing, and the side body, chest, and front of shoulder. Now those come to neutral and tip out opposite sides. Breathe. Nice. Come to center and other side. Two more times. Center, other side. Center, other side. Center, other side. Come to neutral. Walk your feet in, glide your arms down. Inhale, lift, bring your leg as close as possible to your chest. Flex your foot. Breathe and pulse. Pulse your leg towards your chest. Breathe. It's a slight pulse. Nice. Bend the knee. Foot comes to the ground and extend the other side. Flex the foot. Pulse. Nice. And bend the knee. Foot comes to the ground. Now you have a choice of staying in this position, palm up, knees bent, or extending the legs, go a little wider than the mat, a little wider with the mat, with the arms as well. Close your eyes. Remember, we're on our sacred space. So what is on your sacred space? Your body. Go inside, perhaps into your heart. If you wish, you can also do a scan of your body, what you're feeling, what you're noticing. Now I'm going to stay silent for about a minute. Breathe. And inhale and exhale. Once again, inhale and exhale. Let's bend the knees. If your knees or if your legs are extended, if your knees are bent, then simply hold for us. And bend your elbows, hands at the chest or at the abdomen or belly. And let's roll over to the side. Now, if you wish to stay here a few minutes longer, feel free to simply rest. I'm going to start by giving instructions on lifting up so we can finish off, but do what's best for you. So using forearms, elbows, palms, slowly come on up. And do this in slow-mo. Thank you for joining. This is a really nice, relaxed state that we're in. So if you wish to stay in this state for a few more minutes, refrain from doing anything vigorous for the next 15 minutes. Enjoy the space. So we did strengthening, lengthening, relaxation. Thank you for joining. Until next time.